Hey guys, welcome to my video. For today's tutorial, I will be teaching you how to make the cluster V-stitch. To begin, all you're going to need is some yarn and a crochet hook. For this tutorial, you will need to know how to make chains, how to make the double crochet stitch, and be familiar with the cluster stitch. I have videos on all of those and I will have them listed down below. Starting from the very beginning, making chains, you're going to make chains in the multiple of 3 plus 4. I have already made 25 chains on my hook. To start row 1, we're going to make one cluster V-stitch into the 5th chain from our hook. If you are familiar with the cluster stitch, it's a bunch of the bottoms of double crochet stitches clustered together. So for this, we're going to make 2 bottoms of double crochet as our first cluster. Yarn over your hook, insert your hook into the chain we're working into, grab the yarn we're working with, pull it through. Yarn over, take that through 2 loops only. That's 1 bottom of a double crochet. Yarn over, insert your hook back into that same chain. Grab that yarn you're working with, pull it through. Yarn over, take that through 2 loops only. So that's 2 bottoms of double crochets. Yarn over, take that yarn through all 3 loops to make that first cluster. Now make a chain. Now we're going to make our second cluster into that same chain that we were working into. Yarn over, insert your hook into that same chain, grab the yarn you're working with, pull it through, yarn over, take that through 2 loops only, yarn over, insert your hook back into that same chain, grab the yarn you're working with, pull it through, yarn over, take that through 2 loops only. So that's 2 bottoms of double crochets. Yarn over, take that through all 3 loops to cluster them together. So now we have that first cluster we made, a chain, and that second cluster we made, making up a cluster V-stitch. So to continue on, you're going to skip 2 chains, then you're going to make a cluster V into the next chain. Yarn over your hook, insert your hook into that next chain, grab the yarn you're working with, pull it through, yarn over, take that through 2 loops only. Yarn over, insert your hook into that same chain, grab that yarn you're working with and pull it through, yarn over, take that through 2 loops only. You'll have 3 loops left, yarn over, take that through all 3 loops to cluster them together. Make a chain, yarn over your hook, insert your hook into that chain where we just made that cluster, grab the yarn you're working with and pull it through, yarn over, take that through 2 loops only, yarn over, insert your hook back into that same chain, grab the yarn you're working with, pull it through, yarn over, take that through 2 loops only, yarn over, take it through all 3 loops left on your hook to complete that cluster. So you can see how those cluster V-stitches are looking. Skip 2 chains. Into the next one, we're going to be making a cluster V-stitch. That's one of the clusters. Make a chain. Make that second cluster, and that same chain is the one we just made. So you're now going to continue this making a cluster V, skipping 2, making a cluster V until you reach the end of your row. When you reach the end of your row, you're going to have 2 chains left. Skip 1 chain, into the last chain make a regular double crochet. And that is how row 1 is looking. To start row 2, make 3 chains. You're now going to be working into the previous chain 1 spaces of your cluster V stitches. So you're going to be making cluster V stitches into those spaces. So you're going to make your first little cluster. Same thing from our last row, chain 1, and then make that little cluster on the other side in that same space. You're now going to skip to the next one. So you're going to skip these clusters right here. You're going to be working into this chain 1 space from your last row. Make that side cluster of our next cluster V stitch. Chain 1. And make the other side of that cluster V into that same space. Same thing, skip to the next one. Make the side of the cluster V. Chain 1, and the other side of that cluster V. Same sequence as our last row to make those cluster V's. You're now going to continue to make cluster V's in each of these open spaces until you reach the end of your row. When you reach the end of your row, you could see that there are some chains on the side. You're going to be making a double crochet on top of those chains to complete your row. These chains on the bottom are going to act the same as a double crochet that you make at the end of your row. So if you come across a row that has a double crochet at the end, you're just going to make a regular double crochet on top of it. And that is how row 2 is looking. You would now repeat row 2 for however long you want your project. And that is going to be how to make the cluster V-stitch. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like and subscribe for more from me. You can follow me on all social media at crochetmelovely, all one word. Please leave any feedback down below for future videos and tutorials that you would like to see. Thank you guys so much for being here, and have a great day.